I meant to rewatch and review the first two films in preparation for this, but that didn't happen, so... Hello folks, today I'll be reviewing the 2016 DreamWorks film Kung Fu Panda 3, directed by Alessandro Carlani and Jennifer Yuh. It features the vocal talents of Jack Black, Bryan Cranston, James Hong, Dustin Hoffman, and J.K. Simmons. Our fun-loving dragon warrior must learn to master the power of Qi in order to defeat a spirit warlord from exacting tyranny, all while reconnecting with his long-lost father. I was never the biggest Kung Fu Panda fan, so when I heard they were making another one, I wasn't thrilled by any means. Still, I did like the movies enough, plus I wanted to support my buddy DreamWorks, so I forked over the cash. As a whole, this was a solid entry to the franchise. The through message of these films has been to stay true to yourself, and this one carries on that same message in a nice full circle way. It did what all sequels do, which has both its positives and negatives. On the upside, the pizzazz factor was elevated, making for some gorgeous imagery. But on the downside, it did the typical thing of reuniting the protagonist with some relative they never knew they had or thought to be deceased. Great execution would have made up for its unoriginality, but this was pretty average stuff. The fighting sequences have always been a strong asset. However, the hand-to-hand combat specifically was a little too fast this time around. Although it very well could have always been like that, and I just don't remember. If the real-time action was slowed down just a tad, we could get a full sense of what the hell was happening. Give us a chance to appreciate your hard work, animators. Not surprisingly, Jack Black killed it in his role as Po once more. So let's move on and address the best new addition to the lineup, Bryan Cranston, who played Po's father, Lee. There was a gag where Lee created an awkward situation by repeatedly nudging Po in front of his friends, and it was one of the few times I chuckled, mostly due to Bryan's delivery. That's not to say there weren't laughs to be had, I just don't normally respond to this style of humor in these types of animations. I got a kick out of the more subtle stuff, how's that? Rebel Wilson was initially cast for the role of Mei Mei, the flirtatious ribbon dancer panda, and for whatever reason she was replaced by Kate Hudson. And knowing that, I can't help but feel a little let down. You can definitely tell the part was tailor-fit for Rebel to the point where Kate practically did an impersonation of her sans Australian accent. The villain left me wanting more, especially when compared to the previous villains who had such a presence and flair. In Kung Fu Panda we got Tai Lung the leopard, in Kung Fu Panda 2 we got Shen the peacock, and in Kung Fu Panda 3 we got Kai the water buffalo. A water buffalo. The thing that pulls the thing in the mud so farmers can plant their crops. Seriously? I mean, with all due respect, I'm sure there's some cultural significance behind this choice, but a farm animal doesn't exactly make for the most striking villain. A compelling personality or a decent character arc would have gone a long way, but there was little to none of that either. The one thing Kai did have going for him was his choice of weaponry. Yeah, those God of War chain knives were unquestionably badass. I would have preferred to have seen further development with Po's Kung Fu friends instead of getting invested with the entirety of the secret Panda village, but I understand his story is the driving force behind these movies, so it made sense to take the direction they did. This did allow for a great opportunity to explore the dynamic between Po's adopted and biological fathers. Obviously, its depiction of what is essentially a blended family was a lot more simplified given the target audience, but the resolution was a nice little takeaway for people undergoing similar circumstances. I rate Kung Fu Panda 3
champion level.
Albeit predictable, it was a very competent third installment. If you enjoyed the previous films, you'll more than likely enjoy this one too. Before I go, I'd like to give a special shout out to Dan from that Cybert channel for helping out with the voiceover for my rating system. Thank you for lending your sexy voice and sparing me from having to do it myself using my limited ability. Dan has a gaming channel where he covers all types of video games, both new and old, delivering quality content matched with a quality personality. Even for someone like me who isn't necessarily the biggest gamer, I still find him a joy to watch, so please give the guy some much deserved love. Thank you for spending this time with me, and until I see you next, that's it.